This is the Art Life video blog, day 104, and I'm Denise Martin.
My name is Jacob Wolf. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Denise, for having me here.
Thanks so much for coming.
You look so pretty in your dress.
Yeah, this is the one that started it all.
All right, so you paint wedding dresses.
Well, and bridal stuff. As you can see, hats and do work with three-dimensional stuff, but it all really started with painting this particular gown.
Wow. So, do you have an artistic background?
I do. I grew up with a professional artist. My mother was a coffee table artist who worked for Hallmark on the side.
Wow.
She did presentations for local businessmen, just used her art to make money on the side and for fun. Mm-hmm. And so I was part of that dining room table, actually, just grew up doing art with her all the time. And then by the time I was like 12, I was doing it pretty seriously for myself, and I designed a few logos for my brother's business and draw some portraits. And it's always just been a hobby until like the last 20 years, and I really started using art as a form of communication in business. Might as well see if I can, promote the mission using art, and that's kind of what's happened with all of this.
So what do you mean using it to promote?
Well, I have a nonprofit called the Brides of Eden, and we were doing really cool, like wedding gown dress-up parties to raise money for these beautiful Eden-type gardens that we're gifting to the food banks. And the gowns are really visually beautiful, and everywhere I went, people just went crazy over it. Well, then after I painted this one, we walked it into a fountain for a fun photo shoot, but it ruined it. And it's such a cool gown, I wanted to try and salvage it, so I got out the paint. And I just kept painting for months until it turned into this. And once I went out in this, I went to the Fashion Week, to the Couture Wedding Gown Show, and they were all over me. And I just realized that, my art could actually help me attract money and attention for these gardens that I really want to distribute. So I just kept painting because, the painted gown's even more interesting than the beautiful white canvas I started with. So now I can park these all over social media, and the art itself actually draws people to the mission. So
it's called Brides for Eden?
The Brides of Eden.
Brides of Eden.
Got the cat chewing on my wedding couch. Yeah, our focus is the food banks do beautiful work with really amazing people that volunteer their time, but what they're giving out most of the time is sugar and bread and expired dairy, and I ended up getting cancer eating out of a food bank when I had trauma and hit the street. So my dream is to help build a garden at every food bank, and then we do these sacred energy gardens that are round, and we can put a lid over it, meaning a greenhouse dome, so that they can produce food all year round.
Wow.
So that's the focus of my life, is raising money for that. But I've tried everything, and the art is working as far as getting people's attention.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I could put up a soliloquy on Facebook about the need for this kind of food and Eden living and get a burp. But when I put up a picture of a beautiful gown, then, 50 people show up to comment about it. So whatever it takes.
Right on.
So my art was a hobby, but now I really take it seriously as a tool for communication.
Do you have a day job?
Well, running this nonprofit and raising, and there's a lot of ways that we go about raising money. So this is just kind of part of it.
That's really awesome.
Right. But my full-time focus is the gardens.
Very cool. So let's take a look at some of your other dresses here.
Oops, I'm stuck. This one has about 20 pounds of petticoat under it, but this one I painted for little Mary Holland. She came to one of my dress-up parties and really helped me rock a photo shoot, so I picked out a gown just for her. She hasn't even seen it yet. This is the infamous Big Bertha. I made this hat. It's been through a lot of transition. It has the lights on it. They used to be on this dress. Darcel put on the hat and did a photo shoot for us. She's been all over Portland. She even did 2 weeks at Tatiana's high-end dress shop in the window.
Wow.
Yeah, Big Bertha was rocking the window. Here's a picture of her lit up there. So the local businesses have been wonderful. They love my bridal art, and really grateful to Tatiana's. This one I call Cinderella. This is the one that glows in the dark and it floats. You have to have a very special camera, but she's got hooks on her, and we hung like 50 helium balloons so the train would float, and then when you turn the lights off, it's a totally different looking dress because of the way the glow-in-the-dark paint is on it. And the one next to her I call Betty Lou. She's my like 50s party dress kind of version. And when the lights go out, she has a totally different shape than she does now because, of where the paint glows. I have, and then this one is a recent addition. I'm actually going to start painting serious pictures. This is my first one, which is a rosebud on a flower girl's gown for a wedding, and I could see that being a fun trend. And then my next project, this amazing gown, has a sea of ruffles on the 12-foot train. And I'm going to paint a whole ocean scene on the back of the dress with the ruffles becoming the waves, and actually make this a giant canvas.
Wow.
I can see these for they're cumbersome for a wall hanging, but I was thinking you could drape it over the table where the cake's going to be at the wedding. You could drape it over the bed in the bridal suite. You could use it for curtains like I have, or a bride that's just got the courage to do something really wild and wear a painted dress.
Right on.
Because the industry's changing. They are doing all kinds of fun stuff. So it's not just for the bride. There's all, it can be like decorations for the reception, the little bud vases and the, customized wine glass for the brides.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at these.
Yeah, aren't they fun? So she's got her own custom glass at the wedding and a bud glass with a wedding gown on it full of stuff. My gown's unzipping. The other cool thing about this dress that I have on is, I don't know how well the camera can pick it up, but it's got signatures all over it. And one of the ways we've raised money is to let people sign it in return for a donation. So I hope to take this dress on a tour around the country talking about the gardens and the domestic violence survivors that work with the Brides of Eden.
Very cool. So what kind of things is the nonprofit doing right now?
We're kind of regrouping. We actually have a shot of getting our own television show. So
wow.
I'm spending my time working on the writing for the show and talking to some executives. The gowns are really big on TV, and we work with greening the food banks, and a lot of the women we work with and the nonprofit we work with are domestic violence survivors. So we got a lot of great stuff to write about, and we're working our way to Hollywood.
That's really cool. What's going to be the basis of the show?
The gardens. For me, I saved my life with natural food in an Eden-type garden. I was dying in a menopause at 38 and in a lot of pain. And when I moved into this Eden-type environment where we only ate whole, turned-on, vibrant foods that came out of soil that was rich and whole, I got well. I came out of menopause. I had a really wild spiritual experience and then had my first baby at 47. So wow. I believe this is the medicine that heals us. But it's not very available. That magical Eden farm that I landed on, maybe 1% of the population can find one.
Right.
So I'm hoping to recreate that at the food banks around the country because it's the medicine that heals me every time. I beat a horrible case of skin cancer this last year just by doing food wow. and turning to that garden.
So on the television show, are you hoping just to showcase success stories?
No, we want to do the transformation on film, where you actually see someone who's really ill, work with us on camera for a few months in the garden, and watch their recovery and their transformation.
Wow.
The gowns will be a small part of it, but we're going to get the art and the gowns in there now and then. But it's really about attracting attention for the gardens, and when you drag the gowns out there and take some pictures, it helps.
Do you have other artists working with you as well?
I did. I had a woman named Sarah McLeod who came in